Okay, so what I have here today is I have two foam blocks from Hobby Lobby that I just glued together. So it gives me a height of 8 inches, I believe. Yeah, so it'll be plenty enough. And got my template here that I printed offline, just a hat template. This particular hat block is going to be 24 inches because that comes out to 61 centimeters according to my tape measure here. So that's what we're going to cut out and make this hat block with. It's going to be a little bit larger hat. And we're there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this on the cardboard now, trace it out. We're going to cut out this. Alright, done with that. So this is what it looks like. Right there. Mark it. I probably should have used a Sharpie for this part, but I think you can see that pretty well. I got my handy dandy kitchen knife here I'm going to use to carve this thing. Here we go, start cutting away. We're going to go straight down first. Let's do a number on your hand. So in a minute here, I'll take my tape measure and I'll start checking it as I'm carving down. I'll wrap it around and just check it as I'm carving down, and eventually I'm going to use sandpaper to sand it and get it smooth. I definitely have to break out the vacuum, soak all this stuff up. Let me turn on the light real quick. Alright, that's much better. As you can see, it's looking pretty good. I can always carve it down more than make it bigger. So, got my speed square here, so I can hold it up against it, and if I see a gap right there, I can just take it, and I can see that it's bulging right here, so I'll take my sandpaper, go around that spot, and we'll check it again. Checking it all the way around. It's looking good so far. This is the bottom. This is the top. You can see it's a little more jagged. So I'm going to start forming the top. I finished the hat block. It's just a 5.5 inch tall hat block. Started looking at it and it kind of looks like this would be the back, that would be the front, just by looking at it. I wanted to mention that this felt is 100% rabbit felt. I went ahead and upgraded a little bit from my last video when I did the hat that was made out of 100% wool felt, and I really like the way this rabbit felt feels. And I also went with the, I think it was 120 gram, so it's a little bit stiffer than that wool felt was. Excited about how this hat's going to turn out. This is called a blocking tie, and there's a YouTube video on it that shows you how to tie it, but basically you just tie it to where you can pull one end tight like that. The loop gets tighter and tighter around the base of the hat. Now that the water's boiling, this is the part where it gets really hot. Last time I did this, I burned my finger really bad, and it did not feel good. Going to put it on the hat block now. Press it down. I'm going to leave my steam rolling here just in case I need it, because last time I needed it. It's really hot. I love the way this rabbit felt stretches over the hat block. Oh yeah. Now that I got most of it on there, I'm going to take it and the strainer in here. That way it doesn't just get sopping wet. I just want it to be steamed. And hold that over there just like that for a second while it's on the block, and then I'll take it out again, stretch it some more, and then I'll just keep working this process. Then I'll get my block tie here, and cinch it down. All right, so this has been on here for about a minute. So let's take it out, stretch it some more. Try to get rid of this crease that's bubbling up right here. I'm not worried about the brim right now as much as I'm worried about just this part. I want to get it right and work on the brim later. We're going to go ahead and put our tie block on there. Set it in our strainer again. Let it keep getting hot because I think this is as good as this is going to get. One thing I've noticed about this rabbit felt is that I got the thing sopping wet and it doesn't stay wet. It dries really fast compared to the wool. It's crazy. I was not expecting that. So that's what makes me feel comfortable about going ahead and tightening this down here at the base. Now that we got the crown set the way we want it, we got our tie block tied down. We're now going to go ahead and work this brim a little bit and sort of get it ironed out. You can see how it's pretty wavy. We're just gonna start flattening that out and really enhance the break between that crown and the brim. I just finished ironing the brim with my steam iron that I have here, and already I can tell the difference just by picking up this hat after doing all this to it, and just the way the straightness is being maintained on this brim compared to whenever I picked up the wool felt. The brim was still super floppy. It's amazing how fast this rabbit felt dries and just re-stiffens. It's like I never even put any steam on it. It's mind-blowing. We're gonna let that set just like that for the next 48 hours or longer. Yep, pretty excited about that. Okay, it's been probably about 3 days now. I lose track of time, but we're gonna take this off of the hat block now, and it should hold its shape because just by picking it up like this, look at that. That wool felt I had last time was just like, you could do that and it would just flop. This is so stiff. I can't even believe it. This is crazy. We'll take off our tie block. Slide it up here. That actually took a lot of effort, but we got it off the block and it is looking really sharp. I like it. Okay, this white stuff right here is from the foam block, but what we did was we went ahead and, remember how I said for some reason this looks like the back to me and that looks like the front, so that's what we're going to go with. And I put a line right there to mark the back of it with my cardboard template that I had. I found the center of it, stuck it on the hat, and then marked the back. What we're going to do now is, what I want to do is put it back on the hat block and sand it down really good and get it smooth. This rabbit fur is so soft. So soft. Now for the brim. Okay, I'm currently marking the brim now to get it cut. So I already got my side marks here. 2 5/8 off, and we'll do the same here for the front and the back. I got my handy dandy white pencil this time. 2 5/8. I went to Hobby Lobby, bought myself this handy little tool right here, little scoring tool. I'm gonna use that to score it and then hopefully make it easier to cut with scissors. Gonna not do this on the tabletop, so I'm gonna do this over this cutting board. This thing is sharp. I think it's cutting all the way through. Okay. Hey. Oh, wait. This is what the pros do. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, see a little burr right there. The next step will be the sweatband. That's going to be a tedious process because it requires stitching all the way around. But I'm happy with how it looks right now. Okay, so as far as for sewing the sweatband together, I don't even know if this is the right way necessarily or not, but it's the way I'm going to do it. It's how I did my last one. So I put my thread through, and I'm just going to tie a knot right here to hold it in place. Okay, so that is tied on there. So I'll poke the needle through right beside where I just tied my knot. You'll pull it all the way through, almost all the way through. So now you have this loop right here. And before you pull the needle all the way through, you'll bring this loop. Preferably I would do it as close as you can. Then you put your needle through the rope, through the loop. And there is your first stitch. All right, and that's what it looks like when we're done. And I always end it off with the same way I started, just a basic square knot, right over left, left over right, pull it, snip it. Looks like that. And then this will set on the inside like that. And line the back up with my mark there that marks the back of the hat, and then just get it all sewn in. We got the stitch lined up with the line with the back of the hat, and I got these needles with the ball end there they're kind of poking through all around, so to hold the sweatband in place for me. And now I'm going to start sewing in the sweatband. All right, so I've started back here. I've worked my way around so far to here where my thread is. Just want to show this real quick what I'm doing. This method seems to work best for me, so this is how I'm doing it. When I'm sewing this thing in, I'm going along where this part is, and I'm not doing these holes. Whoops, I'm not even showing, I'm sorry. I'm not doing these holes. I'm doing right here. If you can see that, hopefully you can see that. And so here's how it looks when I do it. So going through. Okay, out the other side. But I don't pull this loop through all the way through yet, so I'm holding it back with my fingers. Then honestly, I'm kind of guesstimating right about there, and then it'll poke through there and hopefully end up somewhat beside my loop. Sorry, beside my loop here. And when I pull it, I don't pull that loop all the way. I just let it straighten out. See how it's twisted? So I undo that twist, put it through. And so far, it's holding a good stitch that way. And it looks neat. So yeah, I'm just doing that all the way around. All right, got the bow done. This is only the second hat I've made, so that means it's only the second bow that I've made, and this was my third attempt on this bow right here. It was really hard. I'm just not an expert in it. I was able to get it looking the way I wanted to. Hopefully on the next hat that I do, I can have a tutorial on exactly how I get it to look like this at least. I can't really find much out there on YouTube on exactly how to do one of these bows, but I'm happy with how this one turned out. Finally got it done. Something different I added from my last one that I got, that it was a tip I was given by a hat maker from a Facebook group. He recommended putting a pinch there across the front, and I thought that was a really good idea, so I went ahead and tried that. Even got the little accent there again. So, and then just the rest of the band going all the way around. And the other thing I got done off camera that I didn't record is the inner lining, the satin white. It's the exact same lining as my first hat, so I'm gonna put that in the hat after I start forming the crown here. Got my water boiling again. You want to start with the crown and then work your way out to the brim. Got plenty of steam coming up through the hat, so now we're going to try to ease it off of the pan here without burning ourselves. Very hot. So we'll do right here in the middle, kind of a dip like this. Okay. Say that right there is about how I want the crown to look. So I'll start working on the brim here. What I've noticed with the indie hats is that it has kind of a flange, and I guess it can go all the way around. I don't have a flange block that can really bend it up like that, so I'm just gonna hand do it, but it really is all the way around because obviously it doesn't show it with this hat, but it shows it with the Raiders, the Cairo scene when he shoots the swordsman. His hat's flared up on the front, and then it ends up being back down again. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that on the whole brim here. Go ahead and give it that flange, and then work on the front, bringing it down. Obviously, I want the sides to be up. Just keep working it. Okay. And I think that right there just about does it. I think it's looking really good. I'm really happy with that. One thing I am noticing is the slight taper. I wonder if I just need to flatten the top of my hat block a little more. Maybe that would help with that. Let's put the lining in here. The lining will just be held in by the sweatband. Just get it tucked in. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. This is the finished product. But here's a kind of circle view of it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I said it was 160 grams, so it really is a little bit stiffer. So it kind of feels like a cowboy hat, in all honesty, but it feels really good on my head. This is it. Thank y'all for watching this video of me making my second hat, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.